YouTube, what is up everybody? Welcome to my video, and today I'm going to be talking about what exactly is mate. But before we get into that, I would just like to, take this time to ask to please subscribe and like this video, and if you can, share with others. That would be very appreciated. And now on to the first question. Before I get into what is mate, I'm going to tell you about the different types of mates that you have. You have the Argentinian cut, you have the Uruguayan cut, and you have the Brazilian cut. The Brazilian cut is very, very powdery and green. Uruguayan cut is powdery, but not as powdery as the Brazilian one. And Argentinian cut is more like thick and coarse. Now, that is the different types of mate. And now, I'm going to answer another question that I know some of you have been asking. If you're a beginner just starting out or trying yerba mate for the first time, I would recommend a few brands. So if you want to try an Argentinian brand, I would highly recommend starting off with the soft one, like Unión or Cruz de Malta, because you want to make sure if you're a beginner that they say suave. And if you want to try a Uruguayan brand, I would recommend a soft one like Canarias Serena, things like that, you know what I mean? I know the next question is going to be, where do you even get this? Well, I'll tell you something. This is a thermos, okay? It's a Stanley brand. You could get this actually in Amazon. And if you also look over here, we have the mate gourd right here. You can also get this from, I would say, Amazon. And this is like a little yerba mate compartment where you put it in. And if you actually get the entire set, it even comes with one of these that has sugar in it. So I would recommend for your first set, getting it from Amazon. And also, just to give you an example of Uruguayan cut, this is Uruguayan cut. See, it's not too powdery. Well, actually, it is powdery, but Argentinian cut is more coarse, okay? This is powdery, more powdery than the Argentinian yerba. And it gives it like more body too. But if you're just starting out, I would recommend Argentinian brands like Playadito and Cruz de Malta and Unión. For Uruguayan brands, I would mainly stick to Canarias Serena, not Canarias the yellow one, because if you pick the yellow one, that one's kind of strong, and since you're just starting out, you're not gonna like it, okay? So just to wrap this up, you can get this entire set right here, gourd included, in Amazon. And if you're a beginner, Argentinian brands are Playadito, Unión, and Cruz de Malta. If you're a beginner and you want to try Uruguayan, I would highly recommend Canarias Serena. Another question I know you would all love to know is, what even is yerba mate? Well, I will tell you. Yerba mate is essentially a plant that has been dry aged and cut for years, I would say. Sometimes they're even dry aged for a year or two or even 6 months. But they are dry aged and they essentially originate in South America. It is very popular in places like Paraguay, Argentina, Uruguay, and even Chile. I will tell you that the biggest exporters are actually Argentina. And the people who actually drink it most is between Uruguay and Argentina. And the smallest exporters, I would say, is Paraguay. But the brands that I know, they're pretty good. But you essentially put the yerba mate leaves in a gourd like this, okay? In a gourd like this. And it's actually called the mate. But in English, I guess you would call it the gourd. But I bet you, if you look up mate, it'll give you cup or the gourd and la bombilla, which is the metal straw. How to prepare it? Okay, so here's what I do. See how this kind of looks like a mountain? I'll show you this. Well, I'll teach you how to get that. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your yerba mate, okay, like the yerba. You're going to want to fill it up to about 2/3 of the way. okay? Like 2/3, not all the way, like 2/3, okay? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it upside down like this. Cover it with the palm of your hand and shake it up like this, okay? And then go like this, and the mountain like this should be formed. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna pour the hot water and make sure once you get the mountain that it stays like this, like 90-degree angle. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually pour the mountain or the hot water from the thermos and let it sit like this, okay? This mountain is already prepared. So you're gonna let it sit like this for about, I don't know, I do it for just a few seconds, but you can do it up to 2 or 3 minutes. I do it like this, and then what I do, or what you're supposed to do, is grab the bombisha, or the metal straw, and you're gonna push the excess yerba to the other side. And then you're going to put the bombisha in and do it like this, so that way it can look like the mountain. And then what you're gonna do is continuously put it in that little hole next to the mountain. Now, you don't want to fill it up all the way to the mountain. You want to fill up the water just below the mountain like that, okay? And then you just... Perfect. And then when you realize that it begins to lose flavor, don't restart it. You see, just pick at the mountain. Look, let's say that this loses flavor. I just pick at the mountain like this, see? Just pour a little bit over the mountain. Keep pouring over it. Like, once you pour it over, refill it about quite a few times. And then just keep picking at it, keep picking at it, keep picking at it until it's all gone and it's all flavorless. And keep in mind, this is supposed to take a long time because it's a social drink, okay? Like, you know, that's that, okay? Now, on to the next question. What are some of the rules of mate drinking? Okay, here are some of the rules. Number 1, when an Argentinian person gives you a mate, okay, a mate like this, don't say thank you. Because if you say thank you, it's not looked at as an expression of gratitude. You're practically telling them that you don't want it anymore, okay? Rule number 2, do not break the mate circle, okay? Now, when they take you in the mate circle and you ask them, can I borrow a mate or can I have a mate? They will give it to you. But then don't ask for more. You need to realize that you're in a circle and it's not your turn until everybody else after you that was before you drinks, and then it's your turn. And then you circle around and it's your turn. Do not break that circle because it's seen as rude because you're kind of skipping someone, okay? Now, rule number 3. Do not touch the bombisha. I know it's, you know, like tempting to go like this. And you're like, ooh, there might be some more water there. No. Once it makes this slurping sound, you're done. And then just hand it back to the cebador, which is the only person who is allowed to touch the straw and fix the straw and make the mate at all times. And keep in mind that might be his gourd too, so you don't want to mess that up. And I'd say the 4th rule is always finish your mate. Because let's say I'll show you visually. Let's say I have a mate and it's my turn in the mate circle, okay? And I drink like this. And I leave some of this. Don't do that. Finish the entire thing. Because no one wants to drink your leftover mate. No. That's nasty. Don't do that, okay? Because I promise you, you will get laughed at. And also, rule number 5, do not take too long. I promise you. If the guys you're drinking mate with or anything like my family, they will tell you, yo, it's not a microphone. Or they'll tell you like, dude, are you French kissing it? So don't take too long. Make sure to keep like consistent pace. Don't get distracted. Drink the mate because you have to realize that everyone else is waiting their turn and they're waiting for you. So don't hold them up, okay? Now, those are all the rules of yerba mate. Now let's on to the next question. Is yerba mate healthy? The thing is, yes, it's actually very healthy. Studies show that it can actually help you with your diabetes and heart problems. And, not to mention, it can also help you lose weight You want to know how? Because when you drink yerba mate or mate like this, right? The mate kind of suppresses your hunger. So that way you're not hungry. Therefore, you're eating less. Now, don't get me wrong. Yerba mate alone is not going to help you lose weight, okay? You need to be on a consistent diet. You need to make sure you're exercising, getting enough steps. But this can help you. I'm not saying you're going to lose weight overnight. I'm just saying, it's going to help you. Another health benefit would be that it helps boost focus and it gives you all the energy you need without the crash. Studies show that it's actually way healthier for you than Chinese green tea. I bet you that one surprised you too. I mean, let's think about it. A year ago, nobody would have known what this was, and now Messi's here, everyone's curious. I'm telling you, okay? It's very, very good for you. And it really tastes good. I prefer this over coffee, okay? Any time of the day. I prefer this over coffee. This is my thing in the morning. Another question that I'm sure mate drinkers like me are tired of. Is this weed? No, it's not weed, okay? This smells and tastes nothing like weed. I wouldn't know what it tastes like, but I don't want to, okay? I'm telling you, this is not weed. This is actually way healthier for you than weed. Weed is not even healthy for you, okay? And I'm a kid. Why would I even bring weed? What business do I have smoking weed? It's kind of an annoying question. Once I actually brought it to school and they asked me if it was weed. The teachers didn't, obviously the kids did. But thankfully, some of the kids actually knew what it was. How do I prefer my mate? I really like my mate bitter. No sugar in it whatsoever. I like my mates hot and bitter. The reason I don't like sugar is because, let's say, I don't really eat breakfast, okay? I'm not a breakfast eater. This is my breakfast in the morning, okay? And let's say I eat breakfast. Let's say I have a pastry or something, right? That's already sugar, okay? And I'm gonna put more sugar in my mate. So that's sugar on top of sugar. And I'm not afraid to say this on camera. I have high cholesterol, so I kind of need to really watch what I eat and do. Make sure I'm not having too much sugary stuff because it's kind of bad for you. But not only that, I just got so used to drinking bitter mates that I just like them, I've been drinking mate since I was 1 year old. 1 year old. And what's it called? I used to drink them with sugar when I was little, obviously, because I was really too young to enjoy the natural flavor of mate like I do now. But that got me interested in it, so I kept drinking it until here I am now. Now I've been drinking it for like 12, 13 years, maybe. So to answer your question, I like my mates bitter. What time of day do I have mates? I'd say I have them in the morning and when I come home from school, but not like right after I come home from school. Normally I have them in the morning and then I drink mate in the afternoon towards 5 p.m. around there. That's my time. What shit about brand am I drinking right now? So the brand that I'm drinking is the one that I mentioned earlier, Canalla Serena. I'm trying it out, and I gotta say I like it. After this finishes, I'm gonna try another yerba mate called Merced de Campo. I heard really good things about it. And since I've always stick to one specific brand, I feel like I'm gonna try something new, So I'm thinking, why not? How hot is too hot for mates? Well, I'll tell you this, okay? I don't have a thermometer for my heater, okay? But I do know this. If your water coming from the thermos is too hot, the mate is gonna taste horrible, okay? It's gonna taste too bitter, And sometimes that's why people don't like it, because they don't realize that they're making it way too hot. That's why they don't like it, because when you make it way too hot, the yerba or la yerba produces a very harsh taste and it's bitter. If you heat it up at the right temperature, you get a softer taste, I drink it with no sugar, and since my temperature is good, I like it like that because it's soft. But if you guys don't have a thermometer or anything that can measure your temperature, what I recommend is putting a little bit of cold water, like I'd say like up to like here, around here, right here. And then the rest of it hot, so that way it's not too hot and it burns the leaves. But if you do have a thermometer, I would recommend 140 to 180 degrees would be my highest. But since I don't have a thermometer, I just put a little bit of cold water in there, and then the rest of it is hot. And that seems to work for me, so there you go. Do we all drink out of the same gourd? The answer is yes. Now, I don't want any, ew, that's nasty. Oh, no, don't do that, okay? You know why? Because this is the way it's supposed to be. Because, you know, everyone's drinking out of the same straw. It's all part of the bonding experience, okay? And rejecting that is like saying no to the entire experience. Like, remember that one video where Messi, or Suarez, was sharing his mate with Messi? Yeah, they drank out of the same straw and they ended up fine, you know? It's all part of the bonding experience, you know? Chatting, drinking mates in a group. You can do it with friends, family, and even strangers sometimes, you know? But it's pretty normal to see everyone sharing the same straw. See, like, I share mates with my dad, and once I took it to school and I shared it with my friends, and no one said ew to it, you know? It was all part of the experience, you know? So just, when someone offers you the mate, you know, just take it. You're not gonna die. What is el cebador? Or the cebador is a guy who always serves the mate. Now, typically, the cebador, the one who gives you the mate, that's normally his mate, okay? So just remember, if he gives you the mate, that means he already drank out of it first. And he drinks out of it first because the rule is the cebador always drinks the first mate. Because normally the first mate is always the most harshest mate. So it's not only the rule, it's also kind of the nicest thing to do. Giving you the first mate would be like giving you the worst part of it, and that's kind of seen as rude. So if they drink first, it's normally for one of two reasons. One, it's polite. Two, it's their mate. So why wouldn't they? Is my family from a mate drinking country? Yes. My family on both sides is actually from Argentina. So to answer your question, yes, I do come from a mate drinking country and family actually. My mom actually makes mates every single afternoon and every single morning. So, you know, kind of get used to it. And spectacular. Where can you purchase yerba? That's a good question. You can actually purchase yerba online. You just need to look for yerba, and it'll give you so many brands, but you need to be specific. You need to make sure that you put yerba argentina, which is yerba from Argentina, yerba from Uruguay, Uruguayan yerba, or if you want to be a little, you know, what's it called, creative, you should try Brazilian chimarrão, okay? It's spelled right here on the screen. Chimarrão, okay? And it's spelled exactly like that. But for your first, I would recommend a soft Argentinian one called Playadito, okay? I will actually put a photo of it. It's right here, okay? So that is it, guys. I practically should have answered all your questions. If I missed something, let me know in the comments, okay? Thanks for tuning into the video. Goodbye.